Only wash by me wants to be free. For the cares of life cease to weigh me down. Yeah. Yes, it wash by me inconsistency. To lift my hands, singing in prayer when no one's around. Yeah. Yes, it wash by me wants to break free. Yeah. From the intellectual mentality.
I left home based on my family issue. Not only my family issue, my country. They use someone, human being, as a sacrifice. I've already lost my two loving brothers. So, and they say that I'm the next person for them to kill them, maybe they say, so that they will use my blood as sacrifice. So when my mom heard that, my mom said no, he can't watch his children dying. After all, two have died. So my mom took me away. I don't know how my mom ran away. And along that process, she was pregnant. So we're going. So there was some group of people on the road. So they asked us to wait. And every car that was coming, they will always stop the car. If you are a Muslim, this way. And if you are a Christian, this way. Immediately, they were killing Christian. Instantly. My mom never knew what was going on. They now took off a knife and hit it on my mom's belly. So my mommy fell down. So my mom fell down. I have to run away. They were shooting guns. I run inside the bush so they didn't find me. I go to a certain place where there was no food and life was also difficult. I was 16 years.
The situation today is completely different because the wave of migrants grew enormously. The citizens oppose the use of public money, budget money, to the migrants. If you read the newspapers columnists, they say the people is anti-immigrants. The fact is that there is a circle. I mean, a reciprocal influence between the politicians or the rightist policymakers and the citizens.
I keep on hearing it in such news that they are fighting the racists. I can just be walking, then they'll just be giving way just because of my color.
They're doing damage. They're creating discomfort. The majority of them go out every night, up to no good. They're dangerous for people walking on the street. That's not okay. Not to be racist, but let's help these people in their own countries. I want them to have a good life in their own countries, not here where there's not room for even the Italians.
These little gray squares represent all the Italian population. The invasion is represented by this little fourth of a square here. These are the numbers of immigrants on Italian territory, 1/4 of a little square. And the politicians and the media have succeeded to make it appear as though it were an invasion.
How difficult it is depends on us. When you arrive in a country, you have to try to learn how to fit yourself into it. Where I have been, I couldn't even sleep in a bed. When I was in Syracuse, I slept on the floor. Every day was pasta with tomato sauce. There wasn't a change every morning and evening. lunch, and dinner. Your stomach was so sick of it, and I couldn't cook for myself, and I didn't have money because I wasn't working. This was a period of suffering. The most difficult thing about being here when I first arrived was to have documents. Because if you don't have documents in your hand, you can't do anything. You can't work. Yes, you can walk around, but you can't work. And a life without work for me as a man is not living. Before working as a chef, I started washing dishes and working in the hotel moving furniture around. Then later, the people I was working with wanted me to work with them in the kitchen. Worked as a waiter serving people at the table, and then from servant I became cook's assistant. I would like to do a lot of things in my life because I am not on this earth only to eat and sleep.
Siamo.
This is the unofficial camp, this is the dance.
I was surprised with the situation in Greece. It is really bad. They treat us as if we are animals. I left war to come to a place where I don't feel like a human. There were attacks in Raqqa from all sides, and they destroyed the bridges. There's no water or electricity. The civilians are also under siege. Planes started to bomb indiscriminately, and they killed innocent people. This is what happened. I studied for 2 years, and then I stopped when the war started. I studied media. Syria is without a doubt better than Moria, and especially a Syria without war. There's nothing to do here. We mostly just stay sitting in the tent. It's boring. Sometimes we go out to get stuff. We have coffee at 8 p.m. I just sit and overthink. It's like you are in a prison on an island. You cannot go out. You can't travel as if you are in exile. Just waiting, waiting, waiting. My hope was that the asylum process would go faster. I am just waiting for answers. They discriminate against all the refugees. They haven't attacked me specifically, but they have attacked refugees in general. There was a protest and they were hitting refugees there. We don't feel safe because we are living like we are in exile, in a big prison. I just wanted to send the message that this life is tough here. Everybody escaped from war. There are a lot of different nationalities, however, we all have the same pressures and emotional fatigue. The Afghan and the Arab refugees went on a food strike for 4 days to protest the bad living conditions, but that did not change anything. No, I would not tell my parents to come here. The situation is too bad. I think my parents are in a better situation because they are not restricted like me, and because people still have their families. My life has stopped. I want to return to Syria. I wanted somebody to talk to us to send a message that life is tough and we are victims of countries. The most important thing is the human rights.
I didn't like nothing from Moria. Now my home, it's broken because down her. شو يعني قذيفة بالعربي بالإنجليزي؟
شو؟
قذيفة. انفجار.
Oh, a bomb.
A bomb. Bomb in my house, and in her house he's died, and I cried very much. 3 days I didn't eat and I didn't drink water because he died. I miss my teacher, and I miss my books, I miss my bag, I miss my pencil, I miss everything. I miss my language. I don't like Ireland English. I want my language. I don't want Greece English, never. I want my language.
In 1963-62. It's a business which I started from zero. I built this by myself slowly. The best years, I would say, it was 2004, 2005, 2006, and start to rise up. And then we managed to have almost 90 to 100,000 people arriving by charter flights. And then start this immigration or refugee crisis, refugee problem. You could see 30, 40 boats with 60, 70, 80 people on every boat. It was a sort of invasion, like the D-Day. You see the boats coming from the Turkish coast. And if the question is that if this action really influenced the tourism, I tell you yes, it did. Imagine from 90,000 customers, in 2016 we had 20,000 customers. When you go on holidays, what you're looking for? To have a good time in a glamorous place, all right? You don't want to go and see misery, you know? You don't want to see people suffering next to you.
So, you know, if you don't want to see them, you don't see them. If you want to go and help them, you can also go and help them. But they're staying very far away from the tourist areas. And unfortunately, our island has got like a stamp on it, you know, like they say, Lesbos, refugee island. And that is killing us.
Something else which I heard from a guest, he says, I was imagining that I'm swimming and probably a dead body will float next to me from a lost boat. You can imagine how really influence our daily life. I had mortgages which I had to pay. You know, I was owing money to the state, to the banks, and I had to pay. But how could I pay without my income? My main income is tourism. I don't have olive trees. You know how many they commit themselves suicide because they can't do anything? Because the bank took their houses? Because their family is in the streets? You have no idea. It's very frustrating.
Few years' time, all your life is changing. Of course you are upset. And it has nothing to do with racism. It is just, you know, why do we have to change our entire life? Why suddenly is it difficult for us? Why suddenly do we have to leave?
Ask for me, cause you deserve all this and more. So I give you more, like I give you more.
I believe in miracle. If anybody doesn't believe in miracle in this world, I believe in miracle.
I wanna give my best to you. I wanna do warriors me too. I wanna go wherever you sing. Say the wrong and I will obey. Cause I wanna live in that stream. I wanna serve the Lord for it. Cause you deserve all these and more. Yeah. So I give you more.